please check in. Yeah, it's recording.
Now it is started.
Shubhaji, you are recording it on cloud.
Yes, correct. Fine.
Yes, now it is in progress.
So I'll come to the fact that as we say that digital media is all about glitches and and here and there permutation and combinations, we shall learn about it. But what's more important is that we are learning. Mid-schooler is that point of life when the child is still looking at you with confidence, with a parent or an adult, has confidence in you, has loyalty towards you, and is looking towards you as a role model, not a teenager, and is just waiting to lose that confidence, is just waiting to lose you as a role model, and is just waiting to look outside for any such directions. So a mid-schooler needs to be taken into our fold immediately. And in that, I will, my first question will come to Shafali ma'am. And Shafali ma'am is here more, her point of views are going to be more as a parent than a parent coach, because she has two children, and I would like to know her son or daughter who's a mid-schooler. Ma'am, how can parents help their children cope with peer pressure at mid-school? How would you help your child to cope with peer pressure?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Shubhaji, for giving me the opportunity to answer this question. So what I call a mid-schooler, maybe the kids in their own language, they call it a preteens. Okay. Basically, the mid-schoolers, the age group is 6th, 7th, 8th grade. And to that is the age of a transformation, where the kids are handling with so much of the emotional as well as physical changes in their own body without awareness. They are not even aware that so many hormonal changes are happening in their body, which is affecting their emotional as well as the mental health.
Correct.
So at this time, you have to be, and kids are very fragile. And they easily get irritated on very small issues, on very small things. If you just say no, never say no to your kids. Rather, change your question. You should always change a question to, would you like to have it this way? Or would you like to have it that way? And second thing, be open in the conversations, all kind of conversations, be it a good conversation, be it a bad, maybe the kid has a bad fight in the school. And maybe he himself is not in a good position in that fight. He himself was also responsible for a few things, but do have a conversation and a deep conversation. Instead of scolding the child, have a deeper conversation with your child. That is what I believe. That is the only way I have one child who is adult and one child who is a mid-schooler in a 7th grade. Sometimes my child also feels like that I am a misfit to this society. Maybe my friends are not acknowledging me the way I want them. So I just have a deeper conversation about the matter. What exactly happened, what the other child has said to you, what you have said to it, and this kind of, and in all the conversation, then I understand my child's point of view, the friend's point of view also. And sometimes another thing what I do, I role play the same situation with my child. Okay. That way also I allow my child to explain the points, whatever happened there, and narrate me the whole situation. Yes, ma'am.
That's great. Also, anxiety, don't you think that it starts coming out, taking its root in as a mid-schooler? We see that children learn about anxiety. They are not able to come and tell us because they really do not know, should I report it? Am I to report this? What I'm feeling inside? How do we break that? How do we reach inside that child?
As a mid-schooler, ma'am, you just have to spend time with your child. You have to build that kind of a mindset with your child that you have to discuss all the, okay, let's sit together and discuss all the good things and the bad things of the day. whatever happened in a day, and let's discuss all those points and make the child speak to you. Make the child be your friend. You don't have to parent him every time. Sometimes only be a good listener and allow this child to speak the way they speak to their peer friends. Don't just nag them. Don't say like this, don't say like that. Let them complete their conversation the way they had it with their peers, and then afterwards you have to give your inputs.
So when we were growing up as mid schoolers or even as teenagers or young adults, our children were growing up. My child was growing up. I did not know this. I had no idea. I had no SOP for a parent, as our Mr. Manish says. There is no SOP of a parenting, which is
Yes,
true actually.
yes,
But SOP is there of one thing is that of learning, relearning, and unlearning. If you understand that you have to unlearn what you have learned and relearn after unlearning, then I think the process is so quick. Now, what you're saying is the first thing which comes to my mind is to cut the child, what the child is saying, and put across my point. But from
yes,
what I've learned from what you're saying is that listen to the child, let the child finish it, and put across your point. So that's a
yes.
great point. Also,
And
as a yeah, go ahead, please.
you should never, maybe because I was aware of this thing, because I am by education, I am MA psychology, and it is always, you should be, as a parent, instead of a good instructor, you should always be a good listener.
True, very
So,
true.
yes.
Uh, my next question, and I will come to all the other speakers one by one. My next question to you would be that in the world when both the parents are working and everybody is so busy in the chaotic world it is, every day is a chaos. Um, you, all of us compartmentalize our work, we distribute our work, everything we do. How do we actually teach our mid schooler? Because we are not able to teach our teenager. He or she just refuses to fall in line. But are we able to, or will we be able to teach our mid schooler to become more organized, contribute in the way the, the, the compartmentalization of life? Will we be able to teach our mid schooler?
Yes,
As a parent, what is your take on it?
ma'am, we can do that, but there is, as you said, there is no SOP of the parents. But how we can teach them, we should allow them to go wrong. It's not every time to instruct them before going wrong. Let them allow and let them go wrong. And sometimes you have to say your instructions after they went wrong. Let them fall, let them stand, let them rise. Let them fall again and let them rise again.
So what you're exactly saying is that if they have to get involved in an everyday working of the family, have organizational skills, and when we say organization, it's always prim and prop. Iske
Yes.
baad ye, iske baad ye, iske baad. Let them not do it. Let them fall and learn, even if
Yes,
it goes
just
wrong.
it is a small example. Mid schoolers के साथ what I am facing with my child. What I say, बेटा बैग पैक करके रात को सो रात को अपना यूनिफॉर्म रेडी करके रखो. नहीं मम्मा मैं सुबह कर लूंगा. Allow them and let them face the pinch in the morning. That is
That's a
that.
great point. So
Yes.
basically,
So this
what
is
I've
just a
learned.
small example.
Oh, great. Super, super. Um, Mid-schooler also have a problem of bringing home tears and telling that my
Yes.
teacher said I'm not good in math, my essay was not good, or my friend, because they have now identity problems. My best friend is better than me. So how will you help your child to foster better relationships with their instructors or teachers?
Okay, ma'am, that is quite a tricky question because it all varies with the teacher to teacher. Sometimes teachers themselves are so compatible with the students, they themselves mold them so well. Sometimes your child is also not that extrovert, or they takes a lot of time to mingle with the teacher. So in that case, what I just say that you should be polite and nice to your teacher, and in your sessions, if you have any kind of problems regarding the session, regarding any student, you have to go polite and ask them politely, or you just have to tell them politely. That is
May
what I
I
believe.
request Ruchita ma'am to come and give us a little insight on what the question I posed to Shafali?
Yeah, thank you, Shubha ma'am. So what I do, so my elder one is a 15-year-old. So I have just gone through this phase of mid-schooler to teenagers. So while I will not quote from what we have done specifically or what he has gone through, but I have seen a lot of his peers around. And even as a parent coach, when I come across this thing, that especially this self-image issues which start and they don't like to be picked upon in the class or told that you're not good enough at something. So what I generally work on is I tell them two things. One, if somebody has not put it across to you nicely, you should take a clue and make sure in life you don't come across as that in your life to anyone. So when you want to give a feedback, make a mental note of this fact and be very mindful when you have to give a feedback. So one, this will make them a very good human being. These are life skills that they are developing. And now coming about the thing that you're not good at, that of course is teacher's opinion based on what you have submitted. And if you think you're not, let's work on being better than where you are together. Now, if that means I get external tuition or I sit with my child, whatever it takes, I never ask any student to be the best in the class, be it my own child or if any child has come to me for coaching. Any parent also, my advice is always don't aim for the ultimate, make small goals. If your child is not good enough, make it good.
Absolutely.
Best will come.
Very excellent, excellent point. Uh, Ruchita, I have a couple of questions for you, but in the same vein, what I was asking, ma'am, I would like Pushpa, ma'am. I would request you to unmute yourself because I wanted to ask you that sometimes teachers, we both have run schools, they are under tremendous pressure of the management, pressure of the parent, pressure of the family. And when a child comes, say a sixth or seventh or eighth, no, they are very much worried about a teenager.
Yeah.
10th, 11th, 12th, teachers are careful. But when it is 7th, 8th, 9th, they are not so careful. They can be harsh. How should a parent deal with a teacher like that? When a teacher has been harsh to the child and has impacted the child, how should a parent go and speak to the teacher? What should be the process, if you can throw some light?
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am, for giving me this opportunity. Yeah, surely I would like to say to the parents ki parents can tell about their child to the teacher. They can talk about their child ki what is their approach, how the child is learning, how the child's learning approach. Because uh, teacher parents are more aware about the learning style of their child. So if the child is visual, or the he learns about the VKS, you can say that मीन्स हिज लर्निंग अप्रोच, वो ज्यादा देख के सीखता है, सुन के सीखता है, या छू के टच करके चीजों को सीखता है, कौन सी अप्रोच है उसकी लर्निंग की.
बिल्कुल,
So they can throw this light, some light on their teaching, their learning approach. So the teacher can help the child to learn how जिस तरीके से भी वो अच्छा सीखता है, तो teacher can go about that method in the class. So she can give more example of if his learning is for the visual, or the अगर वो देख के सीख रहा है तो उसको विजुअल के अकॉर्डिंग सिखाएं. और अगर उसकी लर्निंग अप्रोच दोनों तरह की है, उसको टच करके सीखता है, वो जिस भी तरह की अप्रोच, उसके अकॉर्डिंग वो क्लास में मेथड्स इम्प्लीमेंट करे. और वट एवर द चाइल्ड्स नेचर, थोड़ा सा नेचर parents can tell about the nature of the child to the teacher. कि एक्सट्रोवर्ट है या मतलब थोड़ा देर से सीखता है या थोड़ा देर टाइम लगाता है ओपन होने में, ताकि टीचर जो है बच्चे के साथ एक अच्छा गुड कनेक्शन दे कैन मेक विद द चाइल्ड. So this
So what I've understood from both of you, especially Ruchita and your point, is that कि SOP चाहे हो या ना हो, पेरेंट को ये समझना है कि her or his presence as a parent, I'm talking to both father mother, their presence and their contribution in that child's life is 24/7, 365 days. And no matter what, they may not go and influence the teacher in any negative manner, but definitely they have to tell, we are there for our child and we want you to understand our child. And I think that's a great point. I'll now throw the next question to Pushpa ma'am. Pushpa ma'am, it's a very simple question. How do we inculcate confidence and self-belief in a mid-schooler?
Oh, fine. Yes, ma'am. At this age, confidence is very important. So, for making confidence, we can encourage our children for the decision making. उनको डिसीजन मेकिंग के लिए हमें encourage करना है. छोटी for the small things they can take their decision. So we have to encourage for the decision making. और decision making में it can be which color of clothes they are wearing and which type of food they are eating. तो हमें उनकी we have to give the knowledge about the nutrition कि बेटा अगर ये खाओगे तो आपको ये nutritions मिलने वाले हैं. अगर लौकी खाई तो you will have the iron intake in your body. So we have to make the aware, but decision should be there कि which color they are going to wear, कौन सा color वो पहनना चाहते हैं. तो this way it can be helping them to make their confidence and praise their efforts. Efforts के ऊपर आपको praise डालना है, ना कि result के ऊपर. This is very important कि we have to small efforts, whatever effort they are doing, तो रिजल्ट के बजाय वी हैव टू फोकस ऑन देयर एफर्ट्स कि आप इतना मेहनत कर रहे हो तो डेफिनेटली डोंट बॉदर अबाउट कि अगर मार्क्स कम भी आए हैं तो नेक्स्ट टाइम वी कैन डू इन द बेटर वे. सो थर्ड पॉइंट वी कैन गो अबाउट दैट वी कैन अलाउ देम टू एक्सपीरियंस द मीन्स उनको हमें कंट्रोल नहीं करना है. वी हैव टू guide them. We have to guide कि बेटा this is wrong and this is right. तो अब you have to decide कि what you want to do. अगर टीवी के आगे बिल्कुल you are sitting in front of TV and watching and we have to tell them कि you should keep the more distance between the gadget or the you so that your eyes will not harm. लेकिन उनको बस गाइड करके छोड़ देना है. डोंट कंट्रोल कि बार बार पोक करते जाओ उसको कि नहीं मतलब बार बार टोकोगे तो दिस इज नॉट गुड पॉइंट. सो अगर
So what Shafali ma'am said and what you're saying is almost the same, which is a very important point, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
so yeah,
one
go
more
ahead.
thing I want to add, ma'am, कि see this is the age where the belief system of the child is making. So if the child who is in this age is micromanaged, very much micromanaged, तो उसका सेल्फ बिलीफ जो है वो खराब हो जाता है. उसको खुद के लिए खराब फीलिंग आती है कि मैं तो कुछ कर ही नहीं सकता, हर चीज में मम्मी टोका टाकी करती है, पापा टोका टाकी करते हैं. तो उसका सेल्फ esteem it is going down or ultimately his confidence is going down. तो उसको डिसीजन मेकिंग में डिफिकल्टी आती है कि कैसे डिसीजन लूं, अब मैं ये करूं या ना करूं, इस चीज में कहीं पार्टिसिपेट करना है तो मैं करूं या ना करूं. कि मतलब ही इज हैविंग इन दिस, ये पूरी दुविधा में रहता है कि अब मैं वो करूं या ना करूं, क्योंकि इतनी टोका टाकी सुन के अपने बारे में उसको इतना नेगेटिव सेल्फ बिलीफ आ गया है कि उसकी सेल्फ वर्थ कम हो गई है, खुद की नजरों में ही उसकी वैल्यू कम हो गई है. सो दिस वे हिज कॉन्फिडेंस इज गोइंग डाउन. तो पेरेंट्स शुड टेक केयर कि इतना ज्यादा माइक्रो मैनेज उनको छोटी एज में ना करें. तो सो दैट छोटे छोटे जहां पर ज्यादा रिस्क नहीं है ऐसे डिसीजन मेकिंग उनको करने दें.
एक बहुत ही अच्छा सा एग्जाम्पल है विच I'll come to Shafali मैम. एक I had a student with me. That kid used to always forget books and exactly that 7th and 8th, and the mother would come, मैम ये तो नोटबुक भी याद से लेके, I was a teacher at that time, नोटबुक भी नहीं लेके जाता, मैं इसको क्या बोलूं. And she always spoke negative for whatever reason. You know what I started doing it? I started sending notes that today he did so well. He left only one notebook. Otherwise, he would leave 3 notebooks. Today, he only left 1 notebook. Today, he didn't leave anything. Or today, he only left a water bottle, but he took the lunch box. Slowly, when you said praise the effort and not the ultimate result, slowly, actually within, I would say, 3 months, the child started taking. He became extra cautious. He started taking things from others also. जो वहाँ रखे रहते थे similar notebooks वो भी लेके जाने लगा. And it's a fact. बिकॉज उसको लगता था कि एक यही चीज है जिसमें मुझे अप्रिसिएशन मिल रही है, मैं कम से कम इसको ठीक से करता हूँ. तो ये एक साइकोलॉजिकल तरीका है कि आप यहाँ से नहीं बात को समझा सकते तो आप यहाँ से समझाइए उनको, पर साम दाम दंड भेद आपको समझाना है उनको, राइट? Shafali ma'am, I'll come to you because last question is there for me. I'll be coming to you. And before that, I have one more question for Pushpa ma'am and I'll go.
Ma'am, in the last question, allow me to add something.
Sure, definitely. Just give me one. I'll come back to you after this question. I'll certainly come to you. And I'm really, I want to come to you for a question which you will like, Shafali ma'am. How should we, and the question is for Ruchita, Pushpa ma'am, how should we introduce the concept of pause, think, and act to mid-schoolers? Pushpa ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, suppose one child is going through the peer pressure. Peer pressure is going through and पूरी friends का जो उनका group है and they have decided कि चलो कुछ shoplift करते हैं. So इस तरह की कोई उन्होंने आपस में they have decided this kind of thing. तो the child has aware about this fact earlier. अगर parents ने पहले से बच्चे को बता रखा है कि बेटा कि कुछ भी गलत हो रहा है या peer pressure में आके कुछ भी गलत करने का डिसीजन है तो जस्ट पॉज एंड थिंक एंड देन गो हेड. उसको पहले थोड़ा सा पॉज करो और फिर उसको सोचो कुछ करने से पहले क्या मतलब इज इट वर्थ डूइंग. इफ इट इज ओके देन गो हेड एंड इफ नॉट देन पॉज और सोचो उसके बारे में देन यू टेक द डिसीजन. तो अगर पहले से पेरेंट्स ने ये उनको इंट्रोड्यूस कर रखा है तो then child can directly say without any guilt कि see I'm not interested in doing this, so I'm not interested at all and I'm not going to participate in this activity. So because I'm not interested, उसको पहले से पता है तो पहले से पता है तो वो peer pressure में नहीं आएगा और pause करके और think करेगा और फिर उसको देगा. और दूसरा सेकंड पॉइंट आप इसको कहाँ यूज कर सकते हो कि डिजिटल मीडिया में अगर पहले से ये वाली स्ट्रेटेजी बच्चे को पता है कि पॉज एंड थिंक, तो कुछ भी पोस्ट करने से पहले कोई नेगेटिव कमेंट पोस्ट करने से पहले तो ही विल बी थिंकिंग बिफोर पोस्टिंग दैट कमेंट और समथिंग वट एवर ही इज पोस्टिंग ऑनलाइन. तो ही विल बी वेरी मच माइंडफुल. So this way this strategy can be used अगर पेरेंट्स ने पहले से ही बच्चे को ये चीज समझा रखी तो he will be in this habit कि पहले सोचो पॉज करो think and then do it. So he will be very mindful while using social media or while he is online. So these two situations.
That's a great insight. Great insight. Shefali ma'am, I'll come to you. And this question actually is regarding digital media only. And it is not with with reference to the child, but with reference to the parent. As a parent, how important it is for parents, especially mothers, to understand the nitty-gritties of a digital media, the pitfalls and the perils of digital media. Could you throw some light on it?
Yes. Being a digital teacher, ma'am, I totally believe and totally understand a mother, especially a mother who is having a mid-schooler. A mother should be well aware of all the nitty-gritties of the technology, especially the mobile phones. Because nowadays, when teachers are also sending all kinds of work from the school at your mobile phone, then if mother is not aware that let's say child ने phone लिया है, मम्मा मेरा homework आया है, मुझे phone दे दो, and otherwise what the child is watching on YouTube, what the child is watching on Instagram, you are not aware at all. So that is the area where it is a big fall from a mother's side. You should know about all the parenting controls which you can attach to your Google Play, which you can attach to your YouTube, which you can attach to your social media. Because it can be good, it can be bad also. It can have a very bad impact on the child at a mid school when they are indulged in any kind of a wrong visuals, which are not
Sure.
healthy for
Totally.
the school going kids. And the mothers, if they are well versed, they are tech savvy. Tech savvy is not online payments, how to use Instagram. That is not tech savvy. You should know the settings of all the tools. You should know all the controls which as a parent you can have to your device. And you should always allow this. I also strongly believe, and I also do, that you should allow the screen time, limited screen time to your child. It should be a reward. It should not be a time pass. It should not to kill the time of a child. It should always be given as a reward to the child. If it is a per day, then also you can set the time, and you can even if the child is playing a game on the mobile phone, then also you can there are so many settings, ma'am, where you can apply the logs. You can manage the time settings also of all the games also. And to the last question which I wanted to add, you can encourage and inculcate the habit of the making the calendars and the vision boards to the kids.
Sure. That's
You
a good point. That's a good point. Yes.
Yes, you can always encourage your child to have a vision board of next 3 months, what you want to do or maybe every 15 days, you can allow them. And you can have a calendars, per day calendars of the child, like what you will do in a whole day to build the organization skills, like or organization and the management of the child on their own. And let them do it on their own. Just
Yeah.
stand at the back. It's the age where you don't have to go to the front of the child. Rather, you have to and give them the knowledge from the behind.
So let me then I'll bring the word which is my favorite, and after this I'm going to give the platform to Ruchita, and I have a couple of good questions for you, Ruchita. So brace up. I always have a very, and I'm sure Pushpa ma'am will agree, scaffold. We forget that there is a word that we tend to try to teach everything. Uh, there we have a child who has a mind of his own and cognitive abilities of his or her own. All we have to do, like a building has foundation, is that preschool. Like a building has a scaffold. जब इमारत बनती है तो लकड़ी का एक वो लगाते हैं फ्रेम ताकि वो गिरे नहीं. हमें 90% ऑफ द टाइम अगर स्कैफोल्ड का काम हम करें और उनको अलाउ करें टू फॉल एंड देन स्टैंड अप अगेन बाय एक्चुअली गिविंग देम opportunities, I think they will do well even in its school. My question to you, Ruchita, this time is that teenagers used to be very emotional because hormones, XYZ, we have spoken enough and we know. But now the new teenage, that's the mid schooler. How do we make a mid schooler emotionally resilient and strong?
So yeah, this is a very good question, and I come across a lot of these cases. So what happens generally, suddenly you will feel in this age of mid school that your child is suddenly not listening to you, and suddenly he's having these mood swings, temper tantrums, something is just not right. And though we've all read about it that this will happen, when it happens, we don't know it's happening. Now suddenly my child has become very stubborn and he back answers or she back answers or always in front of the mirror or with the screen, and they're just refusing to listen. So this, just remember it happens. I think parents should know, and it's very important to have that sisterhood of motherhood, because that time, that exchange of ideas, oh, your child is doing, my child is also doing this. So how are you handling? So just know that parents should know this is a phase and it shall pass. And when the child is going through this whole temper thing, you stay calm. I think emotional resilience is best demonstrated by the parent, then taught in words.
Beautifully put.
I mean, luckily or unluckily, what happens is in our whole biological cycle, if you see, depending on when you had your child, when the mother is somewhere on the threshold of menopause, that's when your child is going through teenage years. So now in the house, there are two people who are going through hormonal surge.
Mm.
Always remember, as a woman, you're experienced. ये आपके साथ second, third, fourth time हो रहा है. You've gone through it during your menarche, you've gone through it during your pregnancy, and you probably deal with it every month. For the child, it is first time, be it a girl or a boy.
Mm.
And that's the time when you have to take a pause, as Pushpa ma'am said. Even at this time, pause, think, and then react. If you know you're at that time when your hormones are at a spike, excuse yourself from the situation. And when your child sees you doing that, he will also learn, okay, I'm not in the best frame of mind. My tone is not right. Not the correct words are coming out of my mind. He will also learn to excuse himself. Mama, let's talk about this tomorrow. Give me some time. We'll discuss this again. And how will the child know to identify this? When the parent will do this a couple of times. I don't think you're in the right frame of mind right now to talk. Let's take this up again after some time. What happens is, when both the tempers are rising and flaring up at the same time, only a volcano will erupt. So parent will have to be mindful and excuse, take a pause, take a step behind and take it up again. And that's how you will develop emotional resilience also and emotional intelligence both. See, we can't tell a child, don't get angry, don't get depressed. That does not happen. We all get angry. We all get depressed. We all get sad. We all are in that situation where we may feel boastful. I think the pause, think, and then react. This strategy is important everywhere. Especially when you're having...
Great insight. I also believe that this not only is applicable to parent and child relationship, because the child is a bystander and watching the relationship of a mother and a father, mother and a house help, mother and a father-in-law, mother-in-law, and the way our tempers rise and the way we react or not respond, we react. Because emotionally at times we are weak, we are not strong. And as the CBT says, that cognitive ability, we are thinking negative. And when we think negative, only reactions come. The child has observed it and exactly follows it and does the same. Do you agree with me?
Totally, I do. And sometimes, parents come under these guilt also, that, I was going through my worst phase, especially women. When we are going through this struggle, we don't know what we want to do. We are probably at that stage where we want to restart a career, a second career or something. The pressure and the expectations from our own selves are so high. Oh, I'm not so involved with my child so much now at mid-school level than what I was when in primary or pre-primary years. They want to do something. They are themselves struggling for their own personal aims and goals in life. So sometimes it's okay, it's not necessary every time the child has to be your friend. Sometimes you also can be friend to your child. So, you tell that, this is my weak point. I'm sorry, I didn't know how to handle my anger, my depression, my failures, whatever it is. Share it with your child as an experience that the child will learn from. And I don't want you to be the same. When you tell this, it's very powerful for the child to listen. But my parents are also humans and they've faltered. And they are trying, when they are correcting me, when they are telling me, they are trying that I don't repeat the same mistakes. So one thing I always tell my child, we don't live long enough to make all the mistakes. Sometimes we can learn from other people's mistakes.
True, very true. Also, I think we need to tell our children that we are no superheroes. We are just learning to be, this is my first time to be a mother. So, and you're my first child or second child. Maybe the second child I'll do slightly better, but if I have only one child, I'm no hero. I'm as much valuable as anybody else. And that point has to be told that don't worship me because I don't want to be worshipped, I am as much capable of committing mistakes as you are. Only thing is I'm older and I've got more wrinkles. That's it. And this whole concept of bullying worries me. And Ruchita, this is for you. bullying was happening always. We were bullied. You were bullied. I'm sure Shafali man was bullied. All of us, we have bullied and we were bullied, depending on what uh, phase of our life was. But now it has a very different, you know, uh, absolutely different way we are hearing it. We have heard, and we have done one podcast also for that. But when it comes to body shaming, color, racism, n number of such things which we really do not know as parents how to tackle. And when your child brings such situations to you, how would you, I would say, advise a parent as a parent coach?
So, to everybody here, the first thing about body shaming and body image issues, as adults, when we are making casual conversations at the dinner table, in a society, in a party, we have to be very mindful. When
Yes.
somebody walks in and when we say, "Arey, tum to moti ho gayi ho," ya "tum to patli ho gayi ho," just see how unknowingly and subconsciously you're giving so much importance to the body image. So when
Yes.
you're doing this, and then when your child has this, obviously, when somebody will tell your child ke moti ho gayi ho, patli ho gayi ho, nati ho gayi ho, ya lambi nahi ho rahi ho, obviously because somewhere they have absorbed it that, my family, my first contacts give so much importance to this. So be very mindful. The passive hearing that children do is immensely important right from pre-primary years.
True.
Forget mid-schoolers. So the
Very true.
passive hearing that they do. So when you're making a casual comment, you're returning from a wedding or a party in the car and you're just telling your husband, oh, she was dressed so atrociously.
Hmm.
It's between you and the husband. The person has not even heard it. But if your child has heard it, just imagine how much importance the child will give to the looks and the body image and the clothes and everything. And then we as parents wonder, Are, God knows from where she has learned it. I used to be so simple in my childhood. No, the child has not seen you as a child. The child has seen you as an adult and what you're giving importance to.
So
So one is
basically, what we are mirroring, you're talking about what, yeah, we're mirroring reflection, right?
yes, mirroring also, and the passive hearing. I think passive hearing is is very important. For a simple example, like nowadays, children don't accept their photos as it is. They will put
Mm.
lot of filters. They're
Mm.
not ready to accept. First, film stars had that flawless skin and all with airbrushing and Photoshop and all. Now Instagram will do it. I'm doing Zoom meeting. Zoom gave me an option to touch up my face. So there'll be not a single blemish that is seen. But that's so unrealistic. And then they don't like themselves in the mirror. How will they? Because they have these Snapchat and Instagram filters and they look flawless. And then suddenly you'll see them in real life and middle schoolers. Of course, they'll have pimples. Why will they not? It's a natural biological process. But I
True.
think we are putting wrong ideas about body image, even subconsciously, unknowingly from a very young age. I think as adults, we have to learn to be mindful. And yeah, when it comes to when I talk to my kids and all, I tell them that, you know what, I will like you in any shape, whether you're round, square, triangle, hexagon, anything. We make it funny, we make it anything. The one thing that I always tell my children is, whatever they may have decided to learn and be like. So even if my younger one is in third standard and he wants to be a footballer, I'll say, yes, of course, the world needs more footballers like you. So that is a building up of a high self-image from a young age.
Yeah.
I want
I'll
to
share a
add
very
something.
sad, Pushpa, just give me a minute. I'll come back to you. Okay? I'll share you a sad in the sense it is actually a sad. When I was in school, one parent came and said, my daughter said I am dark, and that's why my teacher did not take me as a central character. So you put what foundation or whatever that is called and send me to school so that I want to do that role. The point here, what I'm trying to make is that being fair was so important. Unknowingly, that teacher must have spoken with her another teacher that for this role or for the center girl, let's take the other girl. Now that she didn't even say fair or not fair. By looking at that girl, this kid understood that my color is the bone of contention here. And this is, and Perhaps that was right. The child understood exactly what the teacher said without saying, and it impacted her really, enormously, I would say. It's just that course correction was done, and both the kids were put in the center, and few more were also added to it. But how many times does that happen, right? So, yeah, Pushpa ma'am, quick input because it's 42 and I have 4 minutes. I have one question common for all, and then after that it'll be thank yous. Yeah, go
Yeah.
ahead.
I just want to add in this self-image
Please.
concept, ma'am. Ma'am, sometimes it happens कि जो घर के बुजुर्ग होते हैं, like grandmother, grandfather. तो suppose one girl is born and girl is in second, third standard or third, fourth standard, right? So कई
बिल्कुल
बार दादी वगैरह लाड में बोल देती हैं, तेरी नाक तो बड़ी मोटी है ना? तेरी नाक तो तेरी माँ की तरह मोटी है, या तेरी कमर तो बड़ी चौड़ी है, इस टाइप का कुछ कमेंट वो
हम्म,
लाड में बोलती हैं ये अपने, लेकिन दे डोंट नो कि इट इम्पैक्ट्स द सेल्फ इमेज ऑफ द चाइल्ड व्हेन दैट
बिल्कुल
गर्ल शी ग्रोज अप इन अ यंग लेडी, then she
हम्म,
has this impact in her mind, this image of her कि मेरी तो नाक मोटी है, I'm not good enough, and मेरी
हम्म,
कमर तो मोटी है, and I'm not good enough क्योंकि मेरी दादी ने बचपन से मुझे बोला है. तो this kind of comments,
हम्म,
the children they keep in their mind, and it
हम्म,
shapes their body image. So
सही
this thing means all parents or grandparents should be very mindful about saying something about the children. So this is
Actually, we have to do one session on just mindfulness, ma'am. That is such a the basic problem का सबका solution mindfulness से ही आता है. Anyway, my last question, and I'm throwing it open to Shafali ma'am, and it's a common question, so I'll come one by one. How do we do the transition, that is mid-schooler to teenager, without losing connect with the child? Because a mid-schooler तक तो ठीक है, हम role model हैं, हमने सब कर लिया है. Suddenly hormone comes and connect चला जाता है. 3 strategies, or rather 2 strategies from each one of you to keep the connect with the parent.
No, ma'am. The first one for the transformation from the preschooler to mid schooler to the teenager, first is don't be the leader. Stop leading your child anymore. Instead, be a friend, be a follower. Appreciation works wonders at this age. And nagging should not be there because the child wants to expand the wings. The child is going through so many changes. The child is exploring the world, and allow them to explore. That is what I believe.
So what I've understood is I'd like that be friendly in your approach, because they have friends outside. So let's be friendly in our approach.
Let them understand that they are also the human beings. If it is a no, let them understand the meaning of the no here. Matlab, at this age, they should understand why they are being said no. What is the reason behind it? Explain them. Be a good listener to your child. Let them express.
Good point, ma'am. Actually, very good point. Great point. Pushpa ma'am, same. How do we keep the connect going?
yes, ma'am. We should have the tech-free time with our children, ma'am. That is very important for the connection. ऐसा नहीं कि आप बच्चे से बात कर रहे हो साथ में अपने व्हाट्सएप के मैसेज स्क्रॉल कर रहे हो, या यू आर लुकिंग इनटू द फोन एंड बच्चे को बोलते कि हाँ बोल क्या रहा, कैसा रहा, वट एवर. So this is not the proper way of connection. In this age, the proper connection is very important. तो बिल्कुल आराम से बैठ के उनकी बात सुननी है कि what the whole day it is about. और क्वेश्चन नहीं करना है, स्टॉप इंटरोगेटिंग. उनको इंटरोगेशन नहीं करना है, बल्कि रादर कि आप अपना डे के बारे में उनको बोलिए कि टुडे आई हैव डिड दिस और हाउ माय डे वाज. तो दे विल इंस्पायर फ्रॉम यू एंड दे विल टेल अबाउट देयर हाउ द डे वाज फॉर देम. So whatever good bad there is in their day, they will going to connect with you and they will explain their themselves. And one more thing I would like कि उनको माइक्रो मैनेज नहीं करना है, छोटे छोटे रिस्क लेने देना है कि इट्स ओके टू डू दैट. तो बिग रिस्क तो आपको भी पता है कि यू उसकी तो विद बाउंड्रीज आप सेट करके देंगे, लेकिन बट छोटे छोटे रिस्क दे कैन हैव. तो कनेक्शन एंड टॉक फ्री मीन्स बिल्कुल टेक फ्री टॉक उनके साथ करना है, एंड रिस्पेक्ट देयर पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू. अगर किसी चीज के बारे में if they are giving some point of view, तो we have to respect their point of view. ये नहीं कि भाई तुम बच्चे हो तो हम ही बड़े जानते हैं सब कुछ, छोटे को तो कुछ पता ही नहीं है. तो this is also very important. So from my side, this
So
is.
basically, what I've understood from Pushpa, firstly from Shafali ma'am, is that, as to sum it up, I would say be a listener, and from Pushpa ma'am, take free time and do not interrogate, interact. And now I come to Ruchita ma'am.
Yeah. So what I would say, the transition. First thing, yes, I agree to what Pushpa ma'am said. Stop the nagging. Let them take small risks, but largely the boundaries for the larger things. It's better if we start talking now. It's वो बोलते हैं ना, before the flood comes, build your dam. You should know your setting, the school that your child is going to. Very soon the child may come and you'll come to know that in his school children are vaping or drinking, maybe, you know, as they are teens, when they become 15, 16 and all. If teenage years have shifted, these habits have also started coming earlier in their life because of the society, because of the exposure, whatever. It's very important we speak about these things before these choices are presented to them, before the situations present this choice to them. So whatever you have thought as your boundaries, as your families, as a couple, your boundaries should be, whether it's about these drinking habits or going out with friends, curfew timings, all these things जिसपे झगड़े होंगे when they are 15, 16. Start setting these boundaries now. That, you know, when you're 15, 16, I will not allow you these things that you're allowed today. Though I had a boy, I told him when he was 12 that, listen, right now I'm allowing you stayovers, but once you're 14, 15, I will not allow you. And he asked me why. I'm a boy. So I said, that is one of the reasons I will not allow you, because you are a boy, you might hang out with other boys, you all might sneak out at night. I'm not okay with these things. I told him these things. I put these things in his brain before that situation came. Then I don't want to be caught surprise. Arey, they were doing a stayover after their exams and they all sneaked out. My child will know from beginning, this is unacceptable to my parents. This is unacceptable to my mother. So boundaries is one. Second is goal setting. Constantly do the goal setting with them. And as you all said, interact. So how do you interact? So one thing I do is, I somehow at this stage, I started bringing to them a lot of my stories from my childhood, times when I failed or times when I succeeded, how the struggle was. And a simple thing, that no successful person has been successful without hard work. There is a thing like, oh, they are so lucky, they have so much money, such lavish lifestyle and all, but there has always been hard work behind it. So this kind of interaction where you develop their belief system, value system, and their skills to face the world. As I always maintain that exams are very small part of the life which just go as parents and as kids, we give too much importance. There is a big life ahead of that. And parents should keep the larger picture in front of them when they talk about everything.
Well said. Very well said. Good insight. And one more point which is coming to my mind is that what is important is that from mid-schooler to teenage, when their transition is happening, let them not lose sight with their role models. Because the moment they go to teenage, their role models don't exist. Their friends become their kind of role models, or they just quash all the role models. So create role models. Create your own role models and talk about them. They may agree to accept them as role models or not, but at least there will be a conversation and a dialogue going on. That he look at him, look at this story, and that is why I believe, and I strongly recommend this to parents, have storytelling sessions at home. What happened is not only via interaction, is also via storytelling. This happened, this happened, this happened. No moral lecturing, just storytelling. So what you said is that I share, it can be via stories and anecdotes. I think we've covered almost everything, and it was a wonderful, insightful journey with all three of you. And I hope that our mid-schoolers transition to teenagers is easy, although it's never going to be without pitfalls, but let the pitfalls be so small that they are bouncing and coming back to fall again.
And let them
But then they
understand
should
it is okay to fall sometimes.
exactly. Point is that when you fall, parent is there as a scaffold to take care of you, and you have enough resilience, as Ruchita said, to get up and stand again and to
And
say
you should always rise with the learnings. The outcomes, outcomes with the should come with the learnings.
true. And for that, the parent should be ready to see that. And as a parent, I would say, so of course, for me, the world has moved on. But for those who are parenting a bit schooler, love them, be with them, never leave them. And it's lovely to connect with you all. Hopefully, Connect to Care shall keep connecting with you for your insights. Bye bye. Shabha Khair. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Good night.
Bye.